clouds, flowers and the wind all warn us that changes are coming. But not all storms can be predicted, and life has a way of teaching us what we need to learn. We are all teachers and we're all students in life, and the world is our classroom. And if you don't learn what life is trying to teach you, it will just give you another lesson. Another storm has come in and destroyed our shower tent once again. It's nature's way of telling us that something needs to change. And all the ants have eaten our mice trap bait, so now we've got an ant problem as well as a mice problem. Yeah, good times. The joys of living off-grid. We found some wild mushrooms in our field and we're having them for breakfast. I used to love it as a child. When our dad would take us mushrooming, we would collect huge bagfuls to take home to eat. Dad would cut them up and fry them in a little butter. My sister and I would feast. They were delicious. And mushrooming makes you see and appreciate nature differently. So this is what our mint looked like when we planted it in January, and this is what it looks like now about 3 months later. This was our thyme 3 months ago, and now we'll never run out of thyme. Our lavender 3 months ago, and what it looks like now. I need to cut it back a little bit. Our rosemary 3 months ago, and what it looks like now. It's such an amazing transformation. Our lemon verbena 3 months ago, and this is what it looks like now. It's so beautiful, and look at the beautiful flowers. There always seems to be a beautiful little bird sitting on Brad's avocado tree, keeping an eye on it. Our native mint bush is also flourishing. My only concern is how these plants are going to survive through the winter, but I'm trying to teach myself that I can't worry about things that may or may not happen in the future. And our little orange tree that we planted a year ago has its first little white buds on it. I'm not sure, I think we're meant to remove these first buds. If you know, let us know in the comments below. We have a lot of foxtail grass about. It was here when we first bought the property, but it seems to be spreading. I think it looks beautiful, but it can be dangerous to animals, so we've started spraying it with a salt and vinegar solution to try to kill it off in a natural way. And we decided to pack up our shower tent because it obviously wasn't working, and we've moved it over to our little outhouse that we've kind of half finished. It's not a 5-star hotel bathroom or anything, but at least we can wash ourselves with hot water and soap. Our rescue puppy Truffles loves the space to run and play out here. The lavender has almost finished flowering, so I'm just going to cut those long stalks back to hopefully help it thicken up a bit. We're trying to create a cold climate food forest here with the principles of permaculture. Perennials like lavender are great because you just need to plant them once and they don't need much to take care of them. And now it's time for a bean sprout salad for lunch. I'm on a mission to find some kiwi berries to try. I finally got some, and they're like a mini kiwi fruit, but they don't have the rough outside on the outside, so you can eat the whole thing as a berry. They were delicious. We'll have to try and grow these at some point as well. I was super excited to receive an envelope in the mail from Victoria. It was actually from Cathi from Little Garden Big Dreams. I'm so excited because she has sent me some seeds. One of my favourite kinds of vegetables is spaghetti squash, and it's really difficult to get the seeds up here. So she ended up sending some to me, some that she's been growing in her garden, I think, and I'm so excited to get those going before summer. So she also sent me some button squash seeds, some crookneck squash, which I have no idea what that is, and my favourite spaghetti squash. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, Cathi. I'll leave a link to Cathy's YouTube channel as well. The time has come where we need to harvest some more firewood because it's autumn here in Australia now and the weather is starting to get down to 4 degrees overnight.
This would be not a bad little spot. Come and have a look.
Collecting firewood is hard, dirty work. It takes time and a significant amount of physical effort and a certain amount of homework to do it properly and safely. But the satisfaction you feel with the heat coming off a fire built from the wood you harvested is immeasurable. There's hardly anything better on a bitter winter day. There's a certain amount of therapy in cutting and burning your own wood. We only cut down dead trees on our property because they're already dry, but we don't cut down any that are hollow inside because there could be animals living inside. And basically every tree we cut down, we've grown a new one. Harvesting firewood in some cases can actually help make the forest more healthy and more productive. It lightly started raining on us when we were cutting up the tree, so we had to get moving to beat the rain. And also Paul had to head back to Brisbane for work, and that's about 3 hours drive. And this was about lunchtime, but the sky seemed to start getting darker and darker. And there was an ominous feeling in the air. The wind started to get stronger and our dog started to act more strangely than usual. There is definitely a big thunderstorm coming, but that's very unusual because the severe thunderstorm season in New South Wales should be finished by now. By the time we were loading the cut logs on the truck, the sky had turned to grey as far as we could see. We jumped back in the truck and headed back down the grassy track to our shed. When we looked back, the storm front towered over us and the temperature dropped, and the wind raced across the surrounding fields of wild grass, and it was cold against my face. The dark clouds were hurrying across the sky. At this same time, as the storm was approaching, Paul had to leave to go back to Brisbane for a few nights' work, and he was leaving me alone for the first time to look after all the solar and wind turbine power and the generator and everything. I tried to stay calm against the storm raging around us as the hail fell hard against the earth. The sound was so loud, it was like a freight train driving through our shed, and I feared that the roof would be ripped right off. It was wild, and it was pitch dark inside the shed. I could hear cracks and sounds of things smashing outside. We waited for the roaring winds to stop. I wondered, what if tomorrow vanished in the storm? Am I ready to die? The clouds flew towards the north as the rain subsided. Then it was finally safe to go outside and explore the aftermath of the storm. Branches had broken off trees and were smashing around everywhere and had smashed up all of our stuff. We're lucky this big branch didn't land on the car, and the other thing was that Paul was driving through this hailstorm. And we also had a little bit of flooding in little areas around the shed, but at least our makeshift bathroom was still standing. and the roof hadn't come off the shed like I thought. And the wind had totally disconnected the solar panel from the electrical wires. Both rainwater tanks were overflowing. We should be catching that water.
What's that?
Where's the bucket? We need to be catching that water for the plants. Quick, put a bucket under. Copy. Put the other one under, the white one.
Oh, it's kind of funny. Poppy seems to...
Put the white one under.
She seems to think that the flowing water is attacking her. Cathi!
Go and get the watering can. Eli, get the watering can. Quick, catch it before it runs out.
It's gonna be fine.
Go and grab it.
Probably gonna go for a while. Cathi!
to the fire until the fire burned down to nothing. The next morning, having managed to keep the power and the fire going through the night, I sighed with relief. I'd made it through the first night, only 2 more nights to go. Thank you so much for joining us on our journey. Chat to you next time.